This right here is a damaged bottom bracket adapter. When you install this on the bottom of your frame, down in the tubing for where your crank goes, make sure you don't try to clamp these things in. I destroyed the threads, and that was a $40 mistake, and it hit hard, real hard. So I'm about to install my bottom bracket adapter, and for this specific bike, here you can see that the bottom bracket isn't threaded like on today's bikes. So what I had to do is I had to go out and buy a Truvativ bottom bracket adapter, and they look like this. They're two little black pieces that will go right in here into the bottom bracket, and then those are held together with these three bolts, and then from there you can screw in your external bearings into your bottom bracket so that you can use today's components, like any Shimano crank that is out today. You can use if you have this adapter and the correct bearings to do so. This bike actually used to have internal bearings down in here, and the crank was just one solid piece of metal. It wasn't separated. It looked like an S, and that's what the system used to run on, was a crank like that, and then it had internal bearings. There were like these monster circle bearings that went in here, and there was a little mounting thing inside here that held those bearings in there. Some people who are purists would want to keep that. In my case, I'm not. I wanted to use today's components so that I could have just better shifting capabilities, and also if I wanted to, I kind of want to modernize this bike, but yeah, I'm about to install those, and I'll show you how to do that. If your bike is anything like my bike, these bearings right here won't go in so easily. That's a good thing, because when you're pedaling, you want these things to be pretty solid, locked in, and you don't want them rotating on you. So in my Schwinn, I actually had to go in a little bit, grind out some metal. These things probably won't sit flush on here. I'm fine with that as long as water isn't getting in. But these things go in a particular way. This side over here is my drive side, and so I need to use the piece where the bolts actually rest in, and that will go on my drive side. And I'll probably have to use this hammer to kind of bop it in just a bit, and then I'll let the bolts kind of bring the two pieces together in this bottom bracket area. And before I tried to C-clamp these things in, that was a mistake. Don't do that, because what happened is I damaged my threads inside there, which ultimately damaged my external bearings, and I ended up stripping just all of the screws, or all the threading out of there. So I ended up having to throw away that bottom bracket as well as the bearings, because there was just metal shavings all in there. So don't make that mistake. Be kind of easy on these, and keeping that threaded area from being damaged, and you shouldn't have any problem. So here we go. I'm going to bang these in just a little bit so that these bolts can reach both ends, and I can start tightening down with just the Allen wrenches. that should work. Take these bolts, stick them in the back side. Trash. Made a mistake. So I should have aligned these bolt holes up before I started banging them in. Now I gotta, pull that back side out. I just got done hammering this first adapter into the drive side of my bike, and I use this rubber mallet right here to push this thing down into it. I don't recommend using a normal hammer because you'll take off this black coating and it'll expose your steel that this thing's made out of, which eventually could lead to rust. So I use the rubber mallet. Could be wrong on this, and maybe someone else would recommend differently, but I pretty much beat on the frame. I don't think I've bent it at all, so we should be good. But really there's no other way to get that adapter into the bottom bracket area unless you beat it in with that rubber mallet. So that's what I did, and now the mistake I made earlier was that when I put this piece on the bottom side, I didn't have these three holes aligned very well, and so if they don't align with the three holes that are right there, then those three holes right here, then you can't get these things to sit well. And so for these bolts to go through, you need to make sure that these holes line up for both adapters. If not, you'll be hammering out one of the adapter sides, just like I did earlier, to get this thing to work. Okay, so I've got both adapters in on the bottom bracket. I use this Allen wrench to tighten these down, kind of like you would with a tire and its lug nuts, and just keep rotating your Allen wrench as you tighten each bolt and keep working your way around, and it keeps bringing these closer and closer together to that bottom bracket, and before you know it, it's pretty set in there. It shouldn't move on you. It grips real tight, and then now all I need to do is lube up my external bearings and screw those in, and I'm good to go. I'm about to put in the bottom bracket bearings, and I'm using this Park Tool Polylube 1000 to put my bearings in with, so that as it goes into those threads that it doesn't destroy the threads on these bearings. So I've got these got my bearings lubed up, and on these bearings it tells you which way to screw it in, and for this one I'm going counterclockwise, and as I rotate it in, it's slowly going in, and that lube is kind of easing those threads right in there. Last time I did this, there was metal shavings everywhere, which is stupid. So I'm going to put these in. I'm going to tighten these up just with my hand, and then I'm going to use my my bearing tool to tighten these up just one last turn. So as this finally gives me a little bit of resistance, that's when I'll stop using my hand. And go ahead and just screw the other one in as well. Find out which way the arrow's pointing. Make sure I get these threads lined up so I don't strip out my bearings again. There we go. Alright, those are good to go. Clean the hands. Boom. This is my my little helper, Isaac, and he's going to help me introduce my Park Tool BBT9 tool that is used to tighten up this bottom bracket. And they have a tolerance on here for how tight you should put these in. I'm going to apply probably about 30 pounds to that side, and then about 30 pounds to the other side, and these bottom brackets should be set. Thanks, Isaac, for helping me. But that completes the installation of the bottom bracket and the bearings for this bike. And from here, I'll go ahead and put my crank on, probably in a later video, but this is how you put in the Truvativ adapter and Shimano external bearings. Thanks for watching.